So the first play we're going to look at is Russell Wilson's very, very first sack of the 2020 season. Happened against the Atlanta Falcons in a very empty Mercedes-Benz stadium, which is hopefully we can get some seats filled up this season. So right now we're just going to run the play. We're going to run the sack. This is going to be the very first sack. And Tack McKinley just absolutely obliterates Russell Wilson. Had no opportunity to even get the play off. We're going to watch it from the end zone angle, which I think is one of the best angles. So we get a motion across the formation. Like, come on, y'all. Like, look at this. The man, Russell Wilson, just turned around and is about to get his life flash before his eyes. Like, to the point where he just goes down because it's not even worth it. That doesn't. It's not Russell Wilson. It is funny though to see Tack McKinley getting sacks. You know, seeing that he can't pass the physical. So we get another motion over to outside. So we have 4 receivers actually and a running back in the backfield. So we're gonna go ahead and snap the ball here. Waiting on Russ to snap the ball. Russ is gonna snap it. And Russ gets sacked. Now, we're going to look at a couple of things on this play first before Russ even gets sacked. We're going to check out what these receivers are doing and what this offensive coordinator decided to call. So first, as we can see, absolutely no one's open. Everyone is blanketed by Dan Quinn's defense, and Russ can't really do anything. And at this point, I guess you have something here, but Russ's life is flashing before his eyes right here as Grady Jarrett is barreling down. So we'll run the play and watch him get sacked by Grady Jarrett. And no one helps him up. I mean, it's just, that's another issue in and of itself for me personally. But so we'll go ahead and run the play here. So have the tight end here, 5 linemen, got a running back in the backfield as well. Our running back is in the backfield strictly to, I guess, suck up these defenders. But it doesn't really matter because Russ is still about to get sacked. So we'll take it back from the end zone angle again. The motion across the formation. Russ is going to snap the ball. Russ snaps the ball. And if you've ever watched film on the Atlanta Falcons under Dan Quinn, you know about these twists and these stunts. They love to run them. And it's funny, they love to run them against Russell Wilson. It's very funny. Grady Jarrett runs his twist stunt, and, I mean, he is unblocked, and he just gets the sack on Russell Wilson. And that's kind of a common theme when you watch the Seahawks play the Falcons. The right tackle gets sucked in here. Grady Jarrett just completely leaves the offensive lineman behind. You have an open receiver, but, I mean, you can't really do anything. He gets sacked, and that's unfortunate for Russell Wilson. But I can't put that on Russell Wilson, just because, I mean, the offensive line, I mean, Grady Jarrett, they ran a stunt. Grady Jarrett was there, and that's pretty much it. Like, you can't. There's only so much you can do. No one's open. Everyone's blanketed. You can't really do anything. So now this next play is a little interesting, right? So first thing we're going to talk about is this coverage that the Falcons roll to, right? So once we see Grady Jarrett. So right now the Falcons they're not playing tight coverage. This corner up top is playing off. There is a safety here. So it looks like it could be a single high look. But as the ball is snapped, this is going to rotate into somewhat of a cover two, because these 2 safeties are going to cover each half of the field. So when you run the play here, this is a sack that I probably put on Russell Wilson, just because one of the things about cover 2 is that it's I don't want to say it's a bad coverage or anything like that, but a zone this wide is really easy to beat because it leaves a lot of the field open, right? So this play really wasn't anything special. It's not like they were in scoring range or anything, but the Falcons played this really wide coverage here to where you have a receiver open. Russ has the ball. He's not sacked, but Russ doesn't throw it. Russ pumps. He pumps the ball to this receiver, but never releases the ball. So Russ is just looking for. I can't explain that, right? I can't explain why Russ is just standing there and allowing Dante Fowler Jr. And Grady Jarrett to get to him. So like I said, they're going to rotate into this somewhat of a cover two as Keanu Neal bails and he goes to play the other half of the field, and those corners kind of play underneath. Play is ran. Wilson pumps. Greg Olsen's wide open. Russ doesn't throw it. He just keeps moving, and he gets sacked. That's on Russ. That one's on Russ. So on this play, we're going to look at 2 sacks that Russell Wilson took against the New England Patriots in week 2. One of the things you notice is the Seahawks run a lot of motion just for no reason. We find out that it is man based off of the motion. First of all, wow, up there. That is that's pretty embarrassing. I believe that's Stephon Gilmore up top who got beat off the line of scrimmage like that. He almost fell. But we're gonna run this play just from the all 22 angle, because really it's nothing important to see from the all 22 on this play. We really want to see it from the end zone angle, because the end zone angle is going to tell us everything that went wrong on this play as Chase Winovich is dancing. So the Patriots are going to send this blitz. So they send the blitz. Chase Winovich comes off the line of scrimmage, unblocked, and Russ knows. His running back does try to pick up Winovich, but it's too late, which is one of the common themes you'll see about Russell Wilson sacks. A lot of it is missed blocks on running backs. So Russ will, bless his heart, he tries to block, but it doesn't matter. Derek Rivers and Chase Winovich meet at the quarterback, and it's a party at the quarterback. So it's one of those plays where it's not really much Russ can do. Like when you're getting beaten like a drum like that, you just get thrown to the side. It's so disrespectful, and it's not anything Russ can do about that. So as far as that one, I can't put that on Russ, right? It's just you don't have any time. The next play here is going to be the second sack, where Calhoun is going to get the sack on Russell Wilson for minus 11 yards. But you see again more motion, as we see they're trying to figure out if this is man or if this is zone. That's kind of their specialty that we're seeing very far. The coverage here is very, very far. We have 2 safeties up top. So Russ is going to go ahead and snap the ball here from the all 22 angle. So Russ snaps the ball. It is only a 4-man rush, but Russ runs around. He gets sacked for minus 11 yards. We're going to take a look real quick on what's going on down the field. At this point, the play's over, right? He's already free. So it's not like Russ can just do anything. So realistically, you do have this, because we talked about how far off this coverage was. So this receiver down here runs his curl route, or tries to run a curl route, then takes it upfield for whatever reason. And Russ just gets obliterated because the offensive line just does not block for Russ. So when we see it from the end zone angle, we'll see it here, where it's pathetic offensive line play, and some interesting play calling, because all these routes are going deep, knowing Russ has no time. So Calhoun just busts through the line of scrimmage. They almost run somewhat of a, not quite a stunt, but Calhoun does kind of get through just unblocked, and it's party at the quarterback, and Russ is sacked for minus 11 yards. It's not really much you can do when the defender's in your face in the first 2 seconds after snapping the ball. This is looking like we've looked at 5 sacks already, and 4 of these are on bad offensive line play. So we're going to move on to week 3, where Russell Wilson is playing the Dallas Cowboys defense. The Dallas Cowboys had the worst defense in the history of their franchise, and they still managed to sack Russell Wilson 4 times. One person sacked him 3 times. And we're going to look at it. So the first sack here is going to be from Aldon Smith, who Russell Wilson has met in the backfield several times in his career. So what will happen is we're going to snap the ball here, run the play. At this point, really, no one's open, right? No one's even able to look back at the ball at this point. Now, there is a receiver breaking across the formation, but this is more like a robber. So if Russ throws this ball's probably going to be intercepted, right? Or pass deflection, or if it's tipped, it could be intercepted. But Russ ends up taking a sack here. So when we run it from the end zone angle, we're going to see this offensive line and just the way the offensive line gets beat like a drum here. So Aldon Smith, he's not exactly down like the rest of the linemen. He's kind of standing up. Xavier Woods is down as well as Joe Thomas and Jalen Smith. And we're going to go ahead and snap the ball. Aldon gets off very quickly. Jalen goes out to play the running back. Joe Thomas is ready for any kind of crossing route here or an over route with this tight end. Xavier Woods sends him off. Xavier Woods bites, or I don't want to say bites, but he plays up on the receiver, which is his job. But again, because Joe Thomas is playing this over route, Russ can't throw this ball. So Russ just takes a sack. No one's open. When the offensive lineman is on his knees and the defender is at your quarterback's knees, I think it's bad offensive line play. So again, that's another one that's not on Russell Wilson. So far, we're up to 6 that's not on Russell Wilson. I'm tracking these because I'm very interested in seeing if this is a Russell Wilson problem or an offensive line problem. So the second sack here, it's going to be Aldon Smith standing up again with the 3 down linemen. Pretty much the same play we just saw, but Russ is in trouble in the pocket. It's not really much Russ can do here because when you snap the ball here, once you get the motion, you notice that it's not man. So Russ knows it's zone. So Russ goes to snap the ball, and I would honestly say Russ should have got this ball out. Jalen Smith is not even paying attention. I think Russell Wilson's a good enough quarterback to fit this ball in this window right here into this zone. And he doesn't throw it. He just kind of runs around in the pocket and he ends up getting sacked. So I would put that one on Russell Wilson, just because you had a receiver breaking and you could have, got that ball out. And he simply didn't. Like here, you look at that receiver's wide open. That ball has to come out. That we just talked about that play against Atlanta where the receiver runs down, he runs a curl or a hook or whatever you want to call it, and he's open and Russ doesn't release the ball. That's a Russ issue. That's a Russ problem. It's not really much you can disagree on with that one. So the third one is going to be another sack, but it's going to come from Russ's blind side, or not his blind side. It's going to come from the right tackle. Again, it's going to be Aldon Smith. We're going to just run it from the end zone angle here, through the goalpost. And so Aldon is completely bullying this offensive lineman. I mean, it's ridiculous just how badly he's being pushed back here. It's a mess. And so Everson Griffin, kind of gets some pressure on him as well. It's a lot going on for Russell Wilson. I almost feel bad for him just because, like, when your offensive line is getting bullied this way, it's not even just the right tackle. I mean, you look at everything going on, and Everson Griffin is getting there. Tyrone Crawford is getting pressure. Like, it's a mess at the offensive line position. I can't exactly put that one on Russ in particular. So I won't put that one on Russ, but we'll look at the next one, which is the 4th sack. Look at the 4th sack here. Russ is going to drop back. Russ holds the ball for a bit of time. He holds the ball for a long time there. So we'll check the all 22. So Russ drops. This play right here is a fire your offensive coordinator play, right? Because you're running these routes where, I mean, you're not even allowing your receivers to get open. No one's running a sluggo or anything. It's just, hey, we're just going to run these routes and they're going to stick to us like glue. And that's what happened. So Russ can't do anything. Russ ends up just scrambling for his life because no one's open. Russ gets sacked. Plays like this get you fired, right? Plays like this get offensive coordinators fired. It's not good offensive line play. It's not good play calling. and it's not like I'm trying to make an excuse for Russ, because, if you want to say, well, maybe if Russ was 27, maybe Russ takes this lane and Russ takes off and runs. Maybe he does that if he's younger. Because I feel like he had a lot of green grass to work with, but he wanted to throw the ball. It was a third down. He wanted to throw the ball. So, I mean, a lot of these sacks still fall on the offensive line, but we did find one in here that didn't end up falling on Russell Wilson. And we are in Miami, in the 305, and the Dolphins, they were not a bad defense last year, or during this season of 2020. They were not a bad defense, but they did get to Russell Wilson 2 times. So we're going to look at the first one here. We have 3 receivers, a tight end, and a running back. Anybody want to take a guess on what kind of personnel this is? We're running 11 personnel here. One running back, 1 tight end, the 3 receivers, the lineman, and the quarterback, right? So a very popular personnel. No one runs I formation anymore. 11 personnel is the way to go. About 3 receivers, and that's why we run a lot of nickel defense as well, because of 11 personnel. So as we snap the ball here, Russ is going to get sacked. And again, this play is going to come down to just the play calling necessarily. As we go back to the Dallas game, it's going to come back to the play calling here, because I would personally love to see this play here, this route, be a 9 route and just be a vertical and just kind of just take it up the field. That's what I would prefer. Give your receiver the opportunity to go over the top on this play. I don't want this to be like a deep curl route or a hook route or a comeback. I want that to go to the end zone and have Russ be able to just loft that thing up over the top. But no one's open. Bad play calling. So doesn't fall on Russ. We're going to let the play run. Then we're going to check it from the all 22 angle as we look at the offensive line play. But from what we see there are no receivers that are open. Russ, he actually gets help this time to get up. So I guess that's different. So we'll run it from this angle here. The Dolphins are running a very interesting looking front. That's interesting. There's no one between the guard and the tackle. That's interesting. So they'll go ahead and snap the ball, or Russ will snap the ball. Then it becomes a 4-man rush with the late blitzer off the edge, which the running back does indeed pick up. But my goodness, look, here we go again. The offensive lineman's almost on his knees trying to get around, trying to prevent Emmanuel Ogbah from getting there. It's bad offensive line play. If you don't have receivers open, the offensive line is going to play like trash. And that's what happens, So we'll check the next play here. This is going to be another sack for minus 10 yards here. Again, Miami's running a very interesting front. And Russ can't do anything. No one's open, right? Nobody's open. We'll run it back. We'll pause it here. Now, this play is a little interesting because if this is potentially a deep over, maybe there's something there. But it almost looks like this defender is coming unblocked. If you look up top, it's going to be a defender screaming off the edge, and he's going to be unblocked. So I'm not sure if this play was supposed to be like a screen where Russ throws it back to the side. But I don't know. But all I know is the defenders are unblocked and Russ gets sacked. Again, that's not anything that I could necessarily put on Russ. I just think that when there's a party at the quarterback the way it is on this play here, it's not really much you can do as a quarterback. Like when you snap the ball and you have a defender about to beat your offensive player here, you have a free blitzer here as well. And then as you try to run, that defender is right in your face. Like it's unfortunate because this is just really bad offensive line play. Okay, so Russell Wilson is going to be facing the Minnesota Vikings here, as you have a four-man front here, 3 defenders in the middle, and then the 4 DBs on the field as well. So you're playing just somewhat of a 4-3, but you have 5 DBs because you're playing nickel. Like I talked about with 11 personnel, it's all nickel in the NFL now. So Russ does drop. Russ is looking. Pocket is actually pretty clean for Russ. Now, as far as where Russ is going to go with the ball, I'm a little bothered by this because there's a defender wide open with a lot of field to run with. And Russ he sees him, but then he pumps, and then he just goes down. It's not making any sense to me. That's on Russ. That one's on Russ. We're going to watch it from this angle here, where we won't exactly see the defender open or see the receiver open, but we'll see Russ's reaction. Russ is looking. Russ's eyes are looking down the field. He then looks over to his next read. He sees the defender, or he sees the receiver, but he doesn't throw it. I can't understand why he doesn't throw the ball. He just sits there and he takes the sack. It's frustrating because there are a lot of yards and a lot of plays being left on the field because Russell Wilson just isn't firing the ball off. So we'll go ahead and snap this play here. This is another sack. This is going to be the second sack of the game. Russ ended up getting sacked 4 times against the Minnesota Vikings here. Pocket's really clean. But again, we're having an issue with this play calling, right? You're getting another like curl or comeback route. You're getting actually 2 of those actually from the top and then on the bottom. And then these 3 defenders here are bracketing. Looks like actually like a triangle. This receiver's locked into this triangle over the Seahawks logo where he is not open. No matter what anybody says, this is not open. This ball is going to be intercepted, potentially by Eric Kendricks or by Harris, or by another DB. Russ takes the sack here, and that goes back on just play calling. I just don't understand how you continue to run these curl routes when you have receivers like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and things like that. Where again, it's still bad offensive line play though because he's not blocked. It's not blocked. He gets there, he gets the pressure on Russ, and Russ gets sacked, and it's not blocked. We're gonna get to the third sack here, where Russ is gonna go ahead and snap the ball here. Russ is gonna look. He's gonna first of all, we're gonna watch this from the end zone angle. As we want to check out their receivers though. No one's open. Garbage routes. I mean, it's a consistent thing here with this play calling. So we'll run it from the end zone angle. And I just want you to watch Russ for a second, right? Just look at what Russ does in the pocket here. Russ takes the ball, and Russ immediately tries to run, right? Because Russ is feeling the pressure coming off the edge, because Russ sees that the guard or the center is already beat, which is a consistent thing we see. Now Russ is actually smart here. Russ tries to do what I just talked about, where I said Russ, if he was younger, would be hitting these gaps, these A, B, and C gaps here to go up the field to get more yards. But he actually does attempt it here, but I mean, come on, like it's not much you can do when you're getting wrapped up like that. So I don't want to put that one on Russ. I wouldn't say that's on Russ. That's just on the center just getting beaten like a drum. This play here though, again, another receiver open. Receivers are bracketed down the field. This is a very good game that was called by Mike Zimmer, because these receivers are not open whatsoever. They are all bracketed. They're all blanketed. Now, this is a problem, because as we run it, let's go back from this angle here. We'll go ahead and snap the ball. Pocket is really clean, but you have a wide open, tight end here, and all that green, and Russ doesn't even throw the ball. It's frustrating because that ends up being a sack, and it shouldn't have been a sack, because Russ should have gotten that ball out. So that one definitely falls on Russ. But we're gonna watch it from the end zone angle here. Watch it. Russ his head kind of goes to the left, if you see, but he doesn't release the ball. He steps up, and then for whatever reason, Russ doesn't try to run. You have Green. You can run and slide. He doesn't do it. He just stands there, and I can't understand. Like, Yannick Ngakoue just sacks him because, like, at some point you kind of start feeling bad for the offensive lineman because, look, Dwayne Brown picks up Yannick, but Russ has the receiver open over here, and he has nothing down the field. He has all this space. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't run. He doesn't throw it out here. It's very frustrating. Dwayne Brown, boom. He gives up a sack, and it's Dwayne Brown gets counted for the sack, but it really wasn't his fault because Russ didn't get rid of the ball. It's a problem here that they really have to fix in Seattle. Week 7, they travel to Arizona to play the Arizona Cardinals. So on this play right here, the Arizona Cardinals have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people prepared to rush the passer. And we're going to go ahead and snap the ball. There's a single high safety. Russ is kind of looking to see who's open. First of all, this is a complete mess. I hate plays where offensive coordinators will run their receivers will run receivers into the same location on the field. There's a entire field for you to use, and you're running 2 receivers into the same location. So, like, I don't know what you're trying. You're trying to do a rub route? I don't understand what you're trying to do here. So when you do things like this immediately takes out all of this. There's just too much going on here. Up top, we see people not even running routes. I mean, there's the tight ends jogging. Russ is sacked as no one wants to do their job. So, of course, this one is not on Russ. So go ahead and put that one not on Russ. But one of the things that you really see is that you see the deficiencies in a Brian Schottenheimer offense, where it's just some of the routes and some of the play calling is a little suspect, where it's almost as if it's not even the offensive line at times. It's Schottenheimer. So we're gonna snap the next play here, and Russell Wilson sacked immediately. He just falls down. Russ has no time to even figure out what's going on. But you do have to credit the Cardinals because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it looks like you have 7 people rushing the passer, right? So the ball is snapped, and 4 of those people bail. And so it looks like it's only 3. So the tight end doesn't even pay attention to the corner rushing off of the edge. Russ sees him. Russ can't do anything. It's over. Play's over. Russ is sacked. And that's just a really good play from the Cardinals defense to act like you're going to bring 7 and then you only bring 4. But the ones that you were going to bring actually drop back into coverage and you bring someone who you weren't going to bring before. That's a creative defensive play call. And I just think Russell Wilson and the offensive line just weren't ready for it. I just think that was just a bad, play all around for both positions, both the quarterback and the offensive line. But he only got sacked twice, once by Hassan Reddick and once by Byron Murphy, who I actually talked about in the mock draft video, ironically. So Russell Wilson got 2 sacks in this game, but really, you couldn't really put either of those on Russell Wilson. Okay, so this play right here is going to be a Russell Wilson sack against the San Francisco 49ers. These are 2 sacks that Russell Wilson took in this game. This first one is going to be a corner blitz by K'Wan Williams, where Russ is so oblivious to it. I mean, it's just, you don't even see it coming. There's no one back there to block, even if the blitz does come. You have receivers breaking in on these in routes very close to the line of scrimmage. No one's really open down the field. You get 5 yards here. But because the blitz is so fast off the edge by K'Wan Williams, Russ can't do anything. Now, this play looks very familiar because what happens is the week before this, right? The Seattle Seahawks played the Arizona Cardinals. How did Byron Murphy get his sack? A corner blitz. The Seahawks just were not picking up on corner blitzes. and they got burned in back-to-back weeks by two very fast corners, and that's what ended up happening. It was just they were not putting each other in the putting the offense in the position to be successful against these corner blitzes. So the next play here is motion across the formation. Russ is going to drop back. This is supposed to be a misdirection to come back to Tyler Lockett here on this screen, and Lockett's supposed to take it up the field. As you can tell, I mean, it's all covered up here. I mean, it's just defenders are everywhere. I guess you could float this over, maybe get some yards, but it's just a bad play call. It's a bad recognition of the corner blitz. And I don't want to say it's by Russ, because if it just happens in one game, it looks like it's bad recognition by Russ. When it happens in the following week, then I know that this was seen on tape and Brian Schottenheimer didn't do what he needed to do to rectify it. So if I can see that sitting here, I know the offensive coordinator in the NFL can see it. So why this wasn't rectified from week to week is beyond me. But from week 7 to week 8, they both had corner blitzes, hit home. So 2 sacks, 2 that don't fall on Russell Wilson, in my opinion. Seattle got lucky because they got to play Buffalo when the sun was out. So we're going to look at the play here. We got 3 receivers up top. We have a tight end on the line of scrimmage and a running back in the backfield. So we're going to go ahead and snap the ball here. Now, what did we just talk about, right? Did we not just talk about the corner blitz? So Russ gets sacked, right? Now, he gets sacked because, I mean, we'll watch it from the end zone angle. It's whatever, right? But the corner blitz, right? We're going to watch it off the edge here. It's going to be coming, I believe, from over here. So we're going to snap the ball here. The safety rotates back into a single high look. The blitz comes off the edge, but the running back this time picks it up. Russ sees it. Russ gets out of the way. Now, Edmonds and Tre'Davious White are just there, and they're going to get Russell Wilson for the sack. But Russ just goes down because no one's open or whatever. But of course, that one doesn't fall on the shoulders of Russell Wilson or whatever. But I that play makes me happy almost, because it lets me know that after 2 weeks they picked up on the corner blitz, but that's the NFL. Buffalo came right back, early on in the game and tried to hit him with a corner blitz, and Seattle was ready for it this time. So Buffalo's going to run this defense here. They have a safety, one linebacker in the middle of the field. Seattle has 3 receivers over here. And Russ is going to go ahead and snap the ball here. He is going to get sacked on this play, of course. Motion in. Russ goes to snap it. And to an extent, I mean, there's some people open here, but there's a lot of traffic. There is a receiver wide open right here, and Russ doesn't throw the ball. He just runs, and I can't understand why Russ doesn't throw the ball to Greg Olsen there. And you can even notice, let's go back a little bit. Look at Greg Olsen. He just kind of throws his hands up because he's like, dude, like what's going on? Like, you'll see it here. Greg leaks out of the backfield. He's open, and he has a lot. I was gonna say he can run, but it's Greg Olsen, and he's old, so he can jog a little bit. But and look at Greg Olsen. He throws his hands up. And you look here, and down there in the corner, you can see his hands are kind of up, like, what happened? And Russell Wilson just didn't throw the ball. That's a sack that, will fall on the shoulders of Russell Wilson. We're going to watch it from this angle here. And he's so open, it's ridiculous, and Russ just doesn't throw the ball. Can't really give an explanation as to why. And it was a fumble. So Russell Wilson is going to get sacked on this third play here. He goes play action here. Russ doesn't get rid of the ball. Russ ends up getting sacked. Now, let's check out the formation here to figure out what's going on down the field. Now, I know some people will look at this play and they'll say, well, you could fit it here. No, you can't. Because if you throw this ball, your receiver is going to get clocked. He's going to get smacked. And you have a defender coming down to cover the receiver as well. So the receiver is going to get lit up. So it gets to a point where, like we talked about before with coverage against the Seahawks, it becomes this bracket coverage where it's almost like a triangle and the receiver is just boxed in. So there's not really much Russ can do here. So Russ ends up trying to run out of the pocket to, escape, but Russ, takes a sack, and we'll watch it from the end zone angle here with the tight end, two tight ends actually in line. Play action to the running back. Russ comes back. Tight end actually blocks, so that's good. But, no one else does. Defender comes through. Mario Addison comes through, sacks Russell Wilson for -7 yards, and it's not really much Russ can do there. No one's open. The offensive line is not doing their job, and I can't put that one on Russ. I told you guys I'm keeping track of these as we go. We'll tally them all up at the end. So we're gonna run it from this angle here, the all 22. Let's check down the field. It's very frustrating. Curl route, and your quarterback is about to get sacked because you're not. One, he doesn't have time. Two, you're giving him these curl routes against man coverage. It's just I'll never understand. I see this a lot when I watch the Cowboys on film. They run a lot of curl routes against man coverage, and I can't really give a reason as to why. They just kind of do, and Russ ends up getting sacked for a 10-yard loss here by A.J. Klein. But when we run it from the end zone angle here, Russ is going to drop back, and the running back is just getting abused by this linebacker. And to the point where he gets a hand on Russ. Russ stumbles, and that's it. But it wouldn't matter because Russ still wouldn't have anywhere to throw the ball because all they ran were curl routes. So no one was open. I can't in good faith put that on Russell Wilson. I can't. Like, it's just that's not his fault. So we're gonna look at this play here. Russ is gonna a lot of defenders on the line of scrimmage, of course. Buffalo loves to do that. Love to show a lot of people on the line of scrimmage, but when the ball is snapped, 2 defenders drop out. It only becomes a 4-man rush. So, but Russ gets buried on this play, and it's actually A.J. Klein again who ends up getting Russ, and Russ fumbles the ball this time. So we'll see it here, and it's just, what do you do when the offensive coordinator doesn't leave a blocker in? Like, you kind of just have to take the sack, and just that's the play. So as we're watching these, like I said, we're officially in week 9 right now, and we're actually going to wrap up with week 9 for episode 1 of this. And then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the games against the LA Rams and the Arizona Cardinals and the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants as well, where Russell Wilson begins to get obliterated. So early on, it was pretty bad, but as we get to week 10 and so on throughout the rest of the season into the playoffs, it's about to get even worse for Russell Wilson. And when it gets this bad towards the end of the season, you can sense the frustration, and then you can understand why they fired the offensive coordinator. So hope you guys enjoyed the first 9 weeks of Russell Wilson's turnovers here with my commentary over it. So I'm going to keep track of what I've tallied up so far. And when we finish the next episode of Russell Wilson's sacks for 2020, we'll tally them all up, and we'll see what falls on the shoulders of Russell Wilson. Is it Russell Wilson, or is it the offensive line and the offensive coordinator? We'll talk about it. Make sure you guys smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video on all your social medias as I do with mine. My social media links are down below. Follow me, tweet at me. We can talk about football, basketball, the draft, wrestling, food, anything. I'm very diverse. So, but again, thank you guys for clicking on the show and listening to me give this commentary on these Russell Wilson sacks. So I'll be back soon with the final entry into Russell Wilson trying to 1-2 step out of Seattle.